It's funny, man. Before we talked about at least having this topic on the show, man, we've been fatigued with these two guys, haven't we? It's a lot of fatigue going on between the Drake and the Kendrick. It's every day there's a new story. Why can't it just go away?
It's nasty.
It's getting nasty, right? Well, Drake would probably argue it was nasty when Kendrick called him a PDF file, right? Mm-hmm. Hence why the lawsuit is happening and all this other stuff, more than likely. But I got to say, I want to turn this first topic into like more of a back and forth. Let's both of us throw out a couple of different instances that have happened on Kendrick and or Drake's side, and we'll say who had the better look? Who came out on top of this particular scenario? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So let's just start with the most recent one, the lawsuit.
Okay.
Drake sued UMG twice. Actually, it's not even a real lawsuit. I want to be clear. It's a petition.
Yes.
I don't want to be corrected. I know what happened. There's a difference between a petition and a lawsuit. But he's had 2 petitions so far against UMG and Spotify.
Drake has taken legal action.
Call it whatever you want.
Yes, there we go.
Who has taken the W or the L in that scenario?
What are you talking about?
That's a real question.
Are you kidding me? Well, here's the thing. So there was 2, like you mentioned. Mm-hmm. The first one, Drake could have spun it in a way where it's like I'm fighting for artists because it had to do with payola, right?
That was part of it.
Yeah. So, payola, pretty much Drake feeling like, there's a smear campaign essentially against him with the label. And they're using pretty much, they used him. Because in the background, Drake has actually been talking about his label situation for years, almost like 2 or 3 years, going back to his albums. He's talking about how the next record deal's got to be a couple million, blah, 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 blah. So Drake is arguing that they're trying to diminish. It's almost like the NBA, right? Like, it's funny. I had this conversation the other day. They were like, why is Jonathan Kuminga coming off the bench? Everybody with eyes can see that Jonathan Kuminga is a starter. But they're arguing that, it's a contract year. So if we start him and play him big minutes, we got to pay him big money. So Drake is in a similar situation, or that's what Drake is arguing. They're trying to find ways to make me look bad.
They're diminishing his value.
Undervalue me.
They're diminishing his value,
it's like,
arguably.
If we put our feelings aside, if we put the beef aspect aside, that one is not a bad look. That's what I said. It depends on how you spin it. The second one, I can't roll with that one. Drake, I get it. Drake mentioned how which is kind of wild that, I've stood 10 toes down on this, guys. I said I did not love the fact that Kendrick called Drake a pedophile, PDF file. And not because he said it, but because I just felt like there was not enough just strong evidence to suggest that. If you're going to call somebody that, I want to see strong evidence, not just, pictures of Bobby Millie Brown. Oh, yeah, you took a picture of a 15-year-old. Fine. That's not strong enough evidence to throw out and call a pedophile, PDF file, let alone the fact that this is on streaming services. This is being played by radio. President is talking about not I understand why Drake would be irate, but at the same time, it was Drake used to return fire to him, and you said some unflattering things, and at that point, I'm somebody who believes that. I'm somebody who strongly believes when you do something bad to someone, you cannot expect them to react how you want them to.
You can't. Yeah, you don't control it. You don't control the response, right?
So
I agree with that.
The second one, I don't agree with, but the first one, depending on how Drake spins it.
Well, look, let me jump in here because what I'm hearing is you are loosely, if not 10 toes down. I give you about 6 toes. You 6 toes down defending Drake. It's like a he's not a full blown equivocal.
Can we be human?
Backing.
Let's be human for a second.
All right, let's do that. Oh no, okay.
So with you can't just throw pedophile out there.
All right, look, I'm with you because we talked about this, bro. Like Same thing, man. When that accusation was made on Not Like Us, full blown accusation, people said, "Bro, it's music, it's beef, it's rap. There's no rules in rap." Remember, people said that.
Yes.
So the flip side of the argument is, well, if we're using that thinking, there should be no getting in your feelings, Drake. There should be no, oh man, you called me a pedophile, I'm actually internalizing this and I'm making it a big deal. If it's rap, Drake should have sidestepped that and not even addressed it. Matter of fact, I truly believe if Drake never addressed it, because he addressed it a couple different ways, it might have gone away. It might have like not stuck, and it might have just,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? But Drake kind of like
here's the thing.
felt the need to defend it. Because truthfully, it was impacting business. And like you said, behind the scenes, nobody really knew he was renegotiating with UMG. And it's big money Drake's talking about. We talking about his last deal was allegedly $400 million he signed. And this time around, he's alleged to have asked for more. And so it's ironic, around this exact time, he gets into a beef. His value gets diminished. Companies don't want to stand by him. And he's probably not going to get the same amount that he's asking for. So that whole diminishing of value is probably a real thing. But again, if this is rap beef, Drake is kind of being a little sensitive, in my opinion.
He is being a little sensitive.
Being a little sensitive, man. But we got to be real about that.
But here's the thing.
And here's the thing. If you want to be human, the human side of this says, in my opinion, the other part is, okay, realistically speaking, this is rap. So at the end of the day, take what comes with it, the good and the bad. You also made accusations, Drake, about Kendrick's character. What about that?
But here's the thing.
You claimed he was a woman beater.
Who actually believes even a little bit that Drake's a pedophile?
There's some people who truly believe that.
Yeah, then there are a lot of it. There's some people that believe the sky is orange.
Yo, knock it off.
Like,
knock it off. There was a substantial. You got to see this. Don't be delusional.
You believe it. But
there
why?
was a good amount. I don't want to say like the vast majority. I'm not saying that.
They say that. They saying that. I don't think people actually. But just like same thing. I mean, I don't. Wife beater makes more sense. Okay. Because we see that all the time. Like, you know what I mean. But like to PDF like. I personally don't. How about this? I personally don't believe it.
Look, I don't believe it either. Like,
so,
you're asking, but you said who actually believes that, implying that people don't think that. I don't believe
deep
it.
down, I don't think people believe that.
I do believe people who saw him on stage with a 17-year-old acting weird, knowing that she was 17 when he was like 26, 25 or whatever the case is. I do believe people seeing his, what you could probably deem as an inappropriate relationship with a young Millie Bobby Brown. I do feel like people they're using these breadcrumbs to just make these extreme claims on a dude. But you know how people are, man. Where there's smoke, there's fire, man. They don't have any true evidence.
I mean,
but I do think there's people who probably like, man, this guy's a little weird.
But, I mean, aside from
you
that,
know what I'm saying. But that's the side point.
Aside from that, I mean, I just think I think, like I said, depending on how you spend this world, the way we work now is how you spend things, and he can spin that lawsuit. He could have spun it in a way where it's like, you know, you're really actually fighting for artists, but it's just in a beef. It's just never, the optics are never going to look good.
And this is why
when you talk about suing.
I agree with you, and this is why Kendrick gets the W, because it's the timing, and the messaging. Why did he have to drop this lawsuit the day after Kendrick dropped his new album? Yeah. Why? He just added more promo for the man's new album. Yeah. He could have easily dropped this 6 months from now, or 4 months from the album drop, and I guarantee you wouldn't have hit as hard.
There's an end goal. So what you're saying, right, is
optics. I'm speaking about optics.
Well, the thing is, right now, right, it looks bad. But think about this. He's probably getting this thing out so that by the time the Super Bowl comes around, Not Like Us is banned or whatever, is off streaming platforms or whatever agreement that they get onto. Like, you know, it's strategic, just like the same way GNX dropped in November. I think it's strategic for like the Super Bowl and the stuff that Kendrick got going on. But I do want to pivot to this where, you know, we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
Artist of the Year, right? Literally I had Future as hip hop artist of the year. I had Future.
I made the claim.
Completely switched.
100%.
Because ever since then,
Didn't I say that?
yeah, you did say Future.
I said
yeah.
I've been saying
And
it all
saying
year.
Future
I've been
too.
saying it
I've
all
been saying
year that
too.
Future is the guy this year.
Because I was like, Kendrick Lamar didn't drop an album,
Mm-hmm.
right? Kendrick Lamar, now he's dropped an album.
True.
Now he has the hottest song, right? Now he's announced to perform Super Bowl,
Right.
and now he announced tours.
Mm.
I think now you got to give it to him easily. He's
So
easily
you're saying you
artist
have to
of
give
the
it to
year.
Kendrick now.
You have to give it to Kendrick now. However,
It's tough.
I want to play devil's advocate. I thought Drake had a pretty good year.
Talk to me. Explain.
Drake
Make
had
the
a
case.
pretty
Make
good
the
year.
case.
I think if you looked at, I don't have my Spotify numbers are probably wrong. My Spotify numbers are probably wrong
All right.
because I listen to so many indie artists and stuff like that, and it's just like I listen to it for work.
Fair.
But a song I probably played, I played Not Like Us a lot.
Yeah.
But if I probably played Family Matters just as much, if not more.
Real talk.
I think Family Matters is a fantastic song.
Real talk.
We can't
Nah,
forget about
Family
what
Matters is
Drake.
phenomenal.
We can't forget about what Drake did with push-ups before Kendrick went nuclear. Drake was killing it with push-ups. He had the AI joint.
People didn't like that, by the way.
They didn't
People
like
made
it, but it
freestyle.
was
People didn't really
polarizing.
love that.
It was a polarizing.
I loved it.
It was a polarizing release.
Right.
He dropped a couple songs like with Gordo. He's still doing pretty well despite not having his frequent collaborators.
Okay.
Right? And then he still chopped the Spotify top rapper in terms of streams in 2024 without even dropping an album.
Fair enough.
Like he's had a good year.
Okay, I will give you that. I will give you he's had a good year, but
I wouldn't say second, but
no way in hell he's number 2 or 3 in that list. I think actually 2 things. Let me back up. You said that you have to give Kendrick the rapper of the year crown given what has happened in basically November and December.
Yes.
I understand why you're saying that, and I'm not even mad at that take.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing I would say is I'm still going Future just because to drop
It's absolutely not Future.
drop consistently throughout the
not
year.
Future.
Future dominated throughout the year and had moments that are arguably as big.
Future
with the We Don't Trust You album cycle.
Future won
on now.
offensive player of the year. He won offensive player
Knock it
of the
off.
year.
Knock it
not
off.
MVP.
I'm going Future.
MVP is Kendrick.
I'm going
It's
Future.
not even
I'm
close.
going Future. But it's cool.
Are you kidding
If you
me?
feel Kendrick, I'm not even mad at the late surge he had in the year.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay. That album
But that
solidified
don't-
it. No, the album solidified it. And Kendrick, and then
I'm not mad at
don't
that,
forget
but I'm
Kendrick.
still going- I'm
Kendrick
still going
had
Future.
the pop out concert, which was,
That was-
excellent.
He was.
Like he's definitely artist of the year.
But the same way you were about to knock him, not this episode, before he dropped GNX, that he didn't drop an album prior to this year.
that's all I needed.
So all you needed was one
I just
album.
need an album.
All right, fair.
It can be a trash
Give
album.
it to
can be whatever.
Kendrick. That's cool. I'm
Give
not mad
me
at it.
Kendrick,
I'm
but-
going Future, damn it. I'm sticking to my damn guns. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, this is stubborn.
Nah, bro.
When
I
the
just
when
believe
the facts change, your opinions got to change.
Yes.
and I've changed my opinion
it for you.
Yes,
But
yes.
not for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we talked about the lawsuit for most of that, man.
What else
And-
we need to talk about with?
But
this?
I will say this though about Kendrick has won the narrative battle. He won the impact battle. So
Which is surprising.
So we can talk all the numbers game all we want. Oh, Drake was the number 1 streaming rapper of 2024. All right, bet. That's impressive because streaming, like we always talk about numbers versus impact. Streaming does talk about demand and consumption. We get it. But Kendrick had a way more impactful year in hip hop, in the narrative of Kendrick. About Kendrick.
Yeah.
Kendrick had a way more impactful year from a hip hop, just a battle rap standpoint. From a narrative standpoint, he announced the Super Bowl. He's doing cultural things that to me are making him more of a I would say a household name in 2024, which is actually not something that I believe most people would have saw before this year. Most people didn't have Kendrick over Drake in a global battle.
Yeah.
In a mainstream battle.
Yeah.
Kendrick has had a crazy surge this year.
Well, the thing is, let me ask you this:
Yeah.
I think in America we love a good David versus Goliath story. That's what this is.
Okay.
Let's never forget that. Let's never forget. This is David versus Goliath. And this is no knock on Kendrick.
It is because you call him David.
I'm saying because Drake is that big. Drake is that global.
See, I don't
Drake is that known.
You see,
this has always been a David versus Goliath type thing.
Let's get a couple more minutes in this
Right?
topic real quick. Let's get a couple. You pissing me off. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You know why? Because I reject the narrative that people like to put on Kendrick's jacket and make it seem like Kendrick ain't a massive domestic star and also international.
Drake,
I understand Drake is bigger, but it's not.
You have to remember something.
He's not in another stratosphere.
But you have to remember something. Like Kendrick at that time, we didn't hear anything from Kendrick like that.
Which time?
We didn't know. Like at the time that not like. Remember, we were coming off of Kendrick. We didn't like Mr. Morale. Or people did not like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, right?
Okay.
So we were coming off, Kendrick. Even J. Cole said, "Yo, Kendrick don't even really make music." Like, and at this time, Drake and J. Cole feel like they on top of the world, first person shooter. Drake is like, "Yo, like I'm pretty much doing whatever I want. I'm going on these tours, blah 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 blah." Drake was at his like highest, and so
I don't know about
this is.
But
not saying,
I get it.
it's I'm not saying like it's Kendrick is like some super duper small artist, but what I'm saying is like Drake was at the top, and this is somebody who's down there taking out the person at the top, right?
He's below him.
He took him out, right?
Yeah.
But it's always been an underdog story to me.
100%.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's always been an underdog story.
And look, you're right about that. And
I think we Americans love a good underdog story.
I can get on board with that. The last thing I'll say, though, is we talked about this off camera a few weeks ago. And I remember this very clearly because you talked to me about the hate that Kendrick is now receiving. This is pre-GNX.
I did say that. Yeah.
And I told you that, yes, Kendrick was the underdog. I literally said that. I said Kendrick was the underdog. But he slayed. I didn't say he slayed Goliath, but he beat the guy who was the people's champ, if you will. And now that he beat him in the fashion that he beat him, that underdog is no longer looked at as no damn underdog.
He's the top
And guess what happens when you're the top guy? You're now getting shot at from every angle.
Listen to the full episode. Link below.